Welcome to Outsider Reviews, and today we've got the 2024 Nissan Pathfinder Rock Creek trim, which is the more off-roadish and goes back to the roots of the Nissan Pathfinder. This has a 3.5 liter V6, can put out 284 horsepower and 259 pounds-feet of torque. Should you put premium gas in this vehicle, you're gonna get 11 horsepower more and 11 pounds-feet of torque more. Now, let me know in the comments if you guys actually put premium in your vehicle. I'd like to know, and I'd like to know why. So, comment, let me know. Carrying on, look at that front end. Now, we have LED lights all over the place for the Rock Creek trim. It's actually very nice looking front end. You've got the 3 nostrils out the front there above the Nissan logo, big Nissan logo, camera underneath, everything blacked out grill and everything LED just the way we like it. Speaking of which, you can actually start the Nissan Pathfinder at 49,000 Canadian with the S, and you can go all the way up to the Platinum, and that's going to cost you $60,000 Canadian. But this is the Rock Creek trim, like I said, $52,000, which makes it priced right in the middle of its competition. We'll talk about the competition later. Now, as we carry on through this, we have these beefy 18-inch cross open country Toyota tires here with the blacked out. Now, this is a beadlock look. It is not a true beadlock. It's just an aesthetic look, but you gotta love the look of that. And I actually loved the 18-inch rim with a beefy tires. It really does a lot for your comfort ride. Come to the side, Rock Creek right there, Rock Creek badge. We do have keyless access entry and Pathfinder right here. Now, the reason why I'm so excited about this truck is because for the last few years, the Pathfinder kind of turned into a minivan looking vehicle, and now they're back to its roots. Not all the way. I mean, by the way, there's also rumor an Xteris coming out in 2024, so I'm very excited for that. But for the Pathfinder, I find that this is more to the original Pathfinder that we all know and love that came out. And we're gonna carry on through. We have the back here, boom, big Pathfinder badge, Rock Creek underneath, so there's no mistaking that you paid the extra money. Now, quick address on this, 4-wheel drive. It is 4-wheel drive. In my opinion, it's a little bit more of an all-wheel drive because I can't select 4 high and 4 low. But Nissan says it's 4-wheel drive. And then when we get to the top, we have this beefy roof rack right up here. It can carry up to 220 pounds of cargo, which is great. As far as cargo space, we're gonna go right into it. We have 80.5 cubic feet of cargo space, and like you saw, it is a electronic tailgate, so you can push the button to close it and whatnot. Now this is how much space you have with the 3rd row up, because this is a 3-row SUV. And I'm just gonna pull these down. Here we go. And this is how much space you have with the 3rd row down. It's actually a very good volume of space. And we're gonna go transition right into the back seats there. Now, I did sit in the back row, the 3rd row, and that's how much room I had, as you can see in this video. It's actually pretty good amount of room as long as you push the seats up forward a little bit, all right? Now, speaking of which, these are manual adjustments. You can put them up forward, backwards, depending how much occupancy you have and how much space you actually need. Now, I've had this for about 5 days. One thing I do love about it is right here, we got Brian behind the camera. So we have double cup holders. Now, I'm not the first one to notice this. My 6-year-old kid was like, Daddy, look at all the cup holders. And I was like, oh my God, he's right, because he likes to have all kinds of drink, apple juice, water, milk, what have you. So he's a cup hound. He loves all the cup holders. So he's actually a big fan of this vehicle. Now I get in the back seat. I can also recline if I need to and just chill in the back. This is the nap time. Here we go. So second row is reclinable, which I actually love. And look at that, we have more cup holders. Big fan of the cup holders. And another thing my kid is a big fan of is the controls for his own temperatures. You have temperature controls. Now, you don't have heated back seats here, and you can get that, but he can control his AC, his heat, his fan, and the direction of where the vents there is coming from, which is actually pretty cool. Now, the same styling you see going throughout. We have the orange stitching for the Rock Creek trim right here. This is cloth material. This is leatherette material, and we have the orange stitching. We do have it on the front doors, not on the passenger door, so it is a bit of a bland look for these back doors, but my kid does not mind it, so I don't know. You guys let me know if you guys think it's an omission, but again, price-wise, this is priced pretty good. Now, this is the orange stitching I was talking about that we do have in the front door. And then you have all your controls right here. This is pretty cool. It's just a little plastic fabric, but it's got, a grill-looking thing on it. So it actually is pretty cool. Like I mentioned, it's a 3.6 liter V6, which actually in this segment is starting to be a rare thing. Okay, it is a 9-speed transmission, not a CVT. Thank God. But it can actually tow 6,000 pounds. That is 1,000 pounds more than the average in this segment. Most of the vehicles in this segment is about 5,000 pounds. Some of the vehicles actually have a CVT, which if you're towing regularly, probably would not recommend. But like I said, V6, 9-speed transmission, 6,000 pounds of towing. And as far as fuel economy, pretty good. It's actually pretty good. It's got a combined 11.1 liters per 100 kilometers. I'll put the MPGs down here. It's got 10 liters per 100 kilometers on the highway and 11.9 in the city. I found that I'm actually hovering around 10 and 11 liters per 100 kilometers for my daily use. And I've been driving this car for about a week, picking up my kids from school, doing errands, doing all kinds of stuff. And it actually that's pretty much the fuel economy that you're gonna get. Now, as we look at the interior, again, my favorite things, I'll go in the end of what I like and what I don't like, but my favorite thing is the look of the outside of this vehicle. And the inside actually did not disappoint me. We did a review on the Nissan Frontier not too long ago, and I found the interior a little bit disappointing, but for this vehicle, I'm actually fine. We have the analog gauges, but with digital screen in the middle. The controls on the steering wheels are actually what you would expect. Buttons with some feedback. You press them, you feel it being pressed, and you actually have the advanced cruise control on this that you can activate, and it actually works pretty good on the highway. It keeps the distance from the cars, it keeps you in your lane, it just asks you to keep your hands on the steering wheel. It's not self-driving. We have a little bit of piano black texture around here, but that's basically what everybody's doing these days. I'm not a big fan of it, but I get it. We got an 8-inch screen, which is pretty responsive. It offers you what you need. Now you have wired Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. One of my pet peeves, we'll talk about that later. So it's wired, and you don't have a wireless charger. You just have this cubby space down here. Now, you got a heated steering wheel. You have heated seats, not ventilated, just heated seats, and your temperature controls are all right here. The Tiptronic shifter I am actually quite a fan of. I love how it goes because it saves you a lot of space. You have a lot of easy access to this cubby. You have easy access to cup holders, and it's just pretty easy. You press it to put it in park. You push up to go reverse. There you go. And then in reverse, we actually have a 360 degrees angle right here, overhead view. And you have another view that is your front right tire, which is pretty handy. You can tell because Brian's door is open right there, but he needs to film this, so yeah. But yeah, and the reason why to do this is because it is technically an off-road vehicle, and this gets to see. Now I would like to be able to see both entry of the vehicles, both axis, but I guess the theory is I can put my head out the window old style on the left side, but I need a camera for the right side. Fair enough. Now put it back in park. Don't want to do like Brian. Brian in another video, he left it in reverse and started going backwards, but that's another video.
100% professional here, ladies and gentlemen.
Over here we have your driver selection. So you have a lot of modes. You have sand, mud and rut, snow, auto, eco, sport, tow, and you got your downhill descent control. Yeah, it is what it is. The snow mode pretty handy here up north in Canada. But these are your driving modes. A lot of people don't see much of a difference, but you know, we didn't take this off-road. Full disclosure, I did not go Bajaing with this vehicle. I didn't feel comfortable because this vehicle offers you less than 8 inches in clearance space. Okay, so it looks rugged, it looks off-road, and that's all great. The tires are great. I love the tires. However, less than 8 inches of clearance. Keep that in mind when you're driving this, okay? It's going to be great for gravel roads. It's going to be great for light trails that are basically cleared. It's going to be great for the other kind of driving, but less than 8 inches of ground clearance. All right. Now we have big cup holders. Love them. Parking brake. And the reason why I love also the Triptonic shifter is, bam, down here. I actually have a box of Kleenex. But you actually have quite a lot of space down here for storage, right? As well as, obviously, center console is pretty deep. I have a lot of paperwork in there. Don't mind that. That's enough look. And the Rock Creek logo right on there. So, now we're going to do a little bit of driving. And we're going to tell you exactly what I think, what the pros are and the cons. And should you buy it, should you not buy it. All right, so now we are gonna do our 0 to 60 or 0 to 100 kilometers test. See how much torque this has. I did put it in sport mode. We'll see what that gives. And I put premium in it just to get those 11 horsepowers more and 11 pounds-feet of torque. All right, Brian, you ready?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Flooring. You know what? I actually like it. I actually think it did pretty good. Yeah, for a vehicle this size, I'm quite happy with it.
Not gonna lie, I wasn't counting the Mississippis in my head there, but yeah, not bad for an SUV, really.
Hey, it pushed me back.
Yeah, I felt
quite
it.
happy.
You probably see it on the camera too.
Yeah. So that's your acceleration test. All right, before we conclude this, I want to mention a few things. There's a few competitors out there, Brian, that I think price-wise, cargo capacity-wise, they match up with this. And just to give you guys a few more options, all right? We got the Chevy Traverse. Chevy Traverse, fuel economy is a bit worse in this vehicle, so it's 11.8 liters per 100 kilometers. However, there's a lot more cargo room. We're talking about 98 cubic feet compared to the 80.5 that we have here. It's got a price tag about $58,000 if you go with DRS trim, which is comparable to this vehicle. Also, Brian, we got the Subaru Ascent. A lot of people forget about the Subaru Ascent. They don't even think it's a part of the 3-row SUV. I like it, but it does have a CVT, and it does have a 4-cylinder engine. so maybe doesn't tow as much as this one. Towing capacity is about 5,000 pounds. It has 86.5 cubic feet of cargo in the Subaru Ascent, so definitely competing with this one. And it's got a $53,000 price tag for similar trim, right? Next up, can't talk about it without talking about the Toyota Grand Highlander, which is a 3-row SUV. That one does come in hybrid. That one is on the pricier range of it. We're looking at $60,000. Cargo space is about the same as this one, 84.3 cubic feet as opposed to 80, which is this one. And fuel economy is better. It does come in hybrid, so you're not going to beat that. And last but not least, the Volkswagen Atlas with a cargo capacity of 96 cubic feet, fuel economy of 10.8, a little bit better than this vehicle, but you know, negligible. And it comes with a price tag of $56,000 for the all-peak, which is a similar trim as this. Kind of going for the same kind of theme, blacked out wheels and everything. So,
all right,
there's your competition.
Yeah, there's a few options out there.
Yeah.
So, overall, what do you think of this one?
All right, let's go right into that then. I'll tell you exactly what I like and what I don't like, okay? What I like, the exterior. This vehicle looks absolutely amazing from the outside. I also like the comfort of it. I know some other videos have mentioned that this has more of a rigid ride. I don't find so. I think the transmission, 9-speed transmission, handles it great. The V6 is awesome, and I think that it handles speed bump very good. Those 18-inch beefy tires definitely help. What I don't like, it's missing some small features. We're talking about small things, but that kind of annoy me a little bit. Doesn't have wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. Does not have rain sensing wipers. Also, has a little bit less cargo capacity than the other competitors I mentioned. However, it's not that big of a deal. And the final thing I like about this one, I think it's priced very well at $52,000. So,
okay. So,
do you buy it, Brian?
Do I buy it? Well, now, I will say this. I am kind of a sucker for Nissans. I had an Altima years ago. It was actually my first car, a 2005 Altima. And I probably wouldn't get one with a CVT again, but I like the look of this. I'm liking the feel of this. It's a pretty comfortable vehicle. Obviously it's not an Altima, but
no. And I'm in the market for upgrading my lifestyle, either with a 3-row SUV, just because of dogs and kids, or a pickup truck. And of the 3-row SUVs, I'm actually considering all the ones that we just mentioned, including this one. Now, do I go for this one over all the others? I'm leaning more towards the Volkswagen Atlas, if I'm being completely honest. However, driving this vehicle for a week has made me love it. I absolutely love it. You guys will too. Definitely test drive it. Tell us what you guys think of it overall in the comments. Do you guys go for it because it's got the reliable V6 naturally aspirated, as opposed to these others have the turbo 4-cylinder? Or do you go for these other ones? Let us know in the comments. And until then, we'll see you later.
Thanks for watching.